Yo, what's up, YouTube channel? So, guys, if you've been following me, if you sub, you know that I've been trying to do reaction videos to shows for a while. And every single time I pick a show to do, I just do not remain consistent. And I'm going to tell you why. Bear with me. I'm going to tell you why. The reason being is all of those shows that I've tried to react to, whether it's Bad Boys, right? Bad Boys Texas. I try to do a reaction video for the first episode. Y'all, I cannot bring myself to digest that content every single Sunday, and then not only consume it, then talk about it, the fighting, the drama. It's just too much. I try to do the same thing for Baddies West. Same ordeal. I can't digest it, and then I can't consume it to the point where I talk about it every single week. It's just too much of my mental. But there is a show out now that literally allows me in my spirit to consume it and then do a recap and review on it. And that's that new show that Bravo has, Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. Because not only can I relate to it, growing up in Jack and Jill and going to Howard University, being in DC, but also it's actually wholesome, funny, just filler, white noise type content. Yeah, of course, it's reality TV. There's drama, but it's positive. It's not so anxious, anxiety filled. It's not violent. So this is a show that I actually can connect with. I'm glad it's on TV, and I'm happy to review. So I'm going to do a review on every single episode. So this video is going to be for episode 1 and 2. If you already watched the show, if you like the show, like, comment, subscribe, and actually leave a comment on who your favorite cast member is so far. I know it's only the first 2 episodes, but even I have a favorite so far. It is only the first 2 episodes. So first, let's break down the cast real quick. Cause bro, I am so glad that we have another all black ensemble cast on freaking reality TV. So look at this. They're just gorgeous. Every single person is attractive, and every single person has something going for themselves in their own right, right? So first up, we have Nicholas. Nicholas literally reminds me of someone I grew up with in Jack and Jill. Vineyard vines down, polo t-shirts, polo draws type of guy. So Nick is from New York. On the show, his tag, every single time it pops up, it says sports brand manager. But here it says that Nick styles grooms for their weddings, which makes sense because he already has a very, very Patagonia, Vineyard Vines, Polo Ralph Lauren type style, right? So he's from New York, right? Then we have Jasmine Cooper. She's the only married woman on the show. She's from New York, she's from New York, and she used to work at the Playboy Bunnies Club in New York with majority of the other girls. There's only one girl on the cast that did not work at the club with them. She's married to Silas, who's also on the show, and Jasmine is a screenwriter. So next we have her husband, Silas Cooper. Silas is in the Army, and he also works in the financial services industry. He's also a member of, an alpha, which is very not important, but they bring it up on the show, so I'm going to bring it up in the video. Next, we have Jordan, one of the girls that also used to work at the Playboy Bunnies Club in New York City with Jasmine. Jasmine and her call themselves sister cousins, and it's kind of funny because they kind of resemble a tad bit. And fun fact, Jordan was actually the 4th Black Playmate of the Year and the very last Playmate, I believe. So that's actually really good. But she is a model. She works in fashion and food. And it also says that she has a nonprofit, which is dope. So next we have Bria, who is, oh my, Bria is so pretty. So pretty. She also is one of the girls that used to work at the Playboy Bunnies Club in New York with Jasmine and Jordan. And I don't know exactly what she does, but her tag, whenever it pops up on the show, whenever she appears, it says fashion entrepreneur. So I would love to know more about that. But apparently she lives in Germany with her boyfriend. And yeah. So next we have Shanice, also another girl that used to work at the Playboy Bunny Club in New York. She is a screenwriter, same as Jasmine. And she only appears in the show, I think, in episode 2 because her job only allows her to come up to the house in Oaks Bluff on the weekends. Next, we have Amir. Amir seemed really familiar, and that's come to find out that Amir is prominent on TikTok. He is a realtor in the Austin area, which is cool because I live in Houston. And yeah, this is his first time in Martha's Vineyard. Fun fact about him, he is Black and Lebanese. And this is like the first cultural experience that he's had, you know, trying to dive deep into his black side, considering that he's biracial, because he says that he grew up with his Lebanese family and not with his Black family. His mom raised him, not his dad. So yeah. Next, we have Jason, who is yet to appear on the show yet. I'm sure he'll appear maybe in episode 3 or something, but yet he is yet to appear. Apparently, he is a senior flight attendant for a top airline. He grew up in Chicago, and him and Stylist were roommates. Next, we have Preston, who literally reminds me of a guy from DC. The way he talks, what he talks about. DC down. So he is an activist and also an attorney. He's from DC. And him and Stylist are actually fraternity brothers. So they're both part of Alpha Phi Alpha. They're both alphas. Next, we have Summer. I don't believe Summer's made an appearance in these first 2 episodes, but Summer is a screenwriter the same as Jasmine, and they met at Sundance and became friends ever since. Next, we have Alex, who is a musician, and they also say that he is a creative director on the show. So he's basically creative. And fun fact about him, John Legend is his cousin. Oh, another fun fact. Him and scroll, and Nick are fraternity brothers as well. They're both Kappas. So the Kappa Alpha beef in the house, you know, they have their tit for tats back and forth. Obviously, it's very minor, and you know, they're just joking, but they do go back and forth. So another all-black ensemble cast, which is freaking great. So first things first, when they come into the house, they introduce every single person. They introduce everybody on the cast. I think the first person in the house is Jasmine and Silas. Then the next person is Preston. After that, that's when Bria comes. And then that's when the drama ensues. So I don't think that the drama was really that big of a deal, but the drama that begins to brew the entire duration of the episode. Actually, it was pretty much the storyline for this episode, and here I'm gonna show y'all why. Oh, perfect. So Brio,
like, shoot us down now.
Bria comes in. She's the 4th person in the house.
Oh, I miss my puppy.
Wait, Milo? First of all, Queen, girl. What's going on, honey? This is baby Milo.
And you can already see that Jasmine has a problem with the dog.
All of us walked in here with 2 legs. Milo walked in with 4.
Yeah.
So I don't know how she thought that was going to go past us without addressing the pause in the room.
Hey, what's good, Milo?
This is my ESA animal.
What is ASA?
It's an emotional support animals that help with anxiety, depression.
Okay, we can support that.
Bria reminds me of someone who literally spent 2 hours preparing for Miss USA and didn't quite make it.
Look, this is why I like the show. Black shade, black smart fart, black smart and funny shade. Because what he said is so accurate. Yeah, she looks like and comes off like a pageant girl, but a pageant girl that just didn't make it to top 15, that just didn't make it to top 10, top 5. Misses the mark just a little bit. Pretty, beautiful gowns, nice girl, but some is just not all the way there.
Does he drink whiskey or vodka? It was a lot. It was a lot just to see.
Milo, you and Nami come with me to find a room, okay?
Thank you.
I met Bria when we worked together. I was a proud Playboy Club buddy. And there I met Jordan and Shanice and Bria. And honestly, Shanice and Jordan and I hit it off. I haven't really gotten to know Bria. We weren't as close. But when Shanice said she wanted to invite Bria, I was like, okay.
So how is marriage life?
So that right there is very, very telling. Like, I want everyone to remember that. Jasmine already says that inviting Bria was not on her priority. That was not on her priority list at all. Even though they all were the only black girls at the Playboy Bunny Club in New York, inviting Bria was not a priority for her. That's number one. I want y'all to remember that. So moving on, because we can circle back on this dog issue, because like I said, the dog issue becomes something reoccurring in this entire episode. So moving on, they introduce every single person in the house, right? They introduce every single person from Bria, Preston to Alex and Amir, right? The other thing that I was afraid of about this show is I did not want this show to come off very pretentious. I wanted it to be smart. I wanted it to be funny. I wanted it to be black. Shout out to Amanda Seales. But I did not want this show to come off as if, oh my God, we just go to Martha's Vineyard and we just have all this money. And because that's really not the case all the time. I know a lot of black people that go to Martha's Vineyard and they're not the richest of black people. But because Oaks Bluff is such a historic place for black people to vacation, and because it has a cultural and artistic influences that happen during that time, whether it's the parade or the film festival, a lot of people prioritize going. This is an example of some of the things that I just don't want to hear on the show, because I just don't think it adds any value. It just doesn't look good. Like, I just don't like the pretentiousness of it. So as you can see here, Alex comes, Nick comes, and they're in there with Silas and Preston. So the alphas and the kappas are talking, right? So
I don't need to see anybody else's.
Wow. I got trousers in every color you could think of, suits, tuxedos.
I was raised by a single mother. When she went shopping, we went shopping. So I got my love for fashion at a very young age. I have enough clothes that will last me the duration of this trip, and I'll never wear the same thing again.
Okay, that right there to me is the epitome of the kind of things that don't even need to be talked about on the show. Like, we already know that you're in Martha's Vineyard, you're at Oaks Bluff. We know that you're a certain pedigree of a black person. We don't need to hear about your extensive wardrobe and to hear you talk about how extensive your wardrobe is in comparison to other people. Bro, that's just not something we need to hear about. And then on top of that, we hear him say that he was raised by a single mother. So hearing him say that, I would think that he would come off more as a down-to-earth being. But as you can see, it makes it seem as if he's overcompensating for just overcompensating. Like, I grew up with a single mother. And you know what's so crazy? A lot of the people that I do know that have single moms, especially in Jack and Jill, they do that. They overcompensate with materialism, and then it makes it really hard for you to have any type of empathy for them, because it's like, you were just talking about your Burberry jacket, but now you want me to feel bad because your mom was struggling to pay for school. It's like it ends up going in one ear and out the other. Like, I want to have empathy because you grew up in a single parent household, but then you start bragging about how you have more than me. It's like, how am I even supposed to have any type of empathy for you? So that's just one of the things that I just picked up from him. Is like, okay, you seem to be overcompensating with materialism for having some type of deficiency, not living in a two-parent household, which may just be an assumption of mine, but that's what it was giving. And in my experience, that's what people who have, grown up in single parent households, but their parents tried to like give them do. But I'm not gonna lie, he fly though. Like I said, Nick B. Vineyard Vines down. So I ain't mad at him. But next thing we know, they introduce my favorite character so far, right? Favorite character on the show. Favorite character. Oh my gosh. So The next person that we introduce is freaking Mariah.
Jasmine and I met freshman year of college. I was actually in an arm cast. And she just kind of walked up to me and was like, "Oh, hey," and smacked my hand.
Guys, this is a hazard when you're drunk.
And I wanted to kick her ass immediately. After that, we just ended up becoming friends. So out of all the housemates, I only know Jasmine, Silas, Preston, and Jordan. My strategy for dealing with everybody else: don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
I'm giving you a 1-day pass.
Amen to that. And that's one of the reasons why I like her so far. That's one of the reasons why I like her. And mind you, I'm saying so far because we're only 2 episodes in. Episode 3 comes out literally today, but we only 2 episodes in. So I'm still giving everybody, the grace to show me their full range and personality and who it is that they are before I say, I don't like this person or I don't like this person. But I can tell you right now from jump, I do like Mariah. And this is another reason why I like Mariah. Let me see if I can find it real quick, right? Because she's not a capper. Like, she doesn't feel the need to cap. Like, and I just can't. You're already on the show. You're already here in Martha's Vineyard. We already know that you probably have a certain, you're a certain pedigree of Black person. That's great. That's great. But we don't need to hear it over and over and over and over and over. And this is exactly what I mean.
To raise me the best that she could. Yeah.
What about you, Jazzy Fair?
I'm looking forward to expansion in the sense of expanding community. Like, every year that we do this, it's for a purpose. It's not just to do it.
Oh, we come to the Vineyard every year. No.
Exactly.
She's only been to the Vineyard twice.
Piping high. Exactly. We don't need to hear you capping. I don't need to hear you bragging about how you go to the Vineyard every single year. This could have been your first year at the Vineyard. I didn't need to know. I would have never known. If she would have never said that. Mariah would have never said this. But thank you for setting the record straight, Mariah. We really appreciate it. I appreciate it because I don't need to hear that. We don't need to hear that. We already know you're on the show. One can assume that you're doing well for yourself. And if not now, you will be. That's just not something I need to hear. And I feel like the point that I'm making is kind of like the point that Preston kind of makes.
Whatever Black excellence means to each and every one of us. That's the expansion.
Oh, yes. Perfect segue.
Like being rooted in something.
Absolutely.
Perfect segue.
I actually really hate the expression Black excellence.
I
despise it.
Oh my gosh. It's so amazing. Because I feel the exact same way, but I'll let him say it.
For me, Black excellence is like my mom, who barely graduated high school, had 3 kids by the age of 23, who never went to college and just was able to survive. I think our version of Black excellence is rooted in like what white people consider successful.
Amen.
I am a Black.
Amen. And he's absolutely right. When we talk about Black excellence, we talk about Obama being Black and excellent, which is awesome. He is Black and excellent. But we also need to talk about like Oprah Winfrey sleeping outside of her grandmother's house and not being allowed inside, to then being who she is today. That's Black excellence. We should talk about, the maids and like movies like The Help. That's Black excellence. Like, I don't think Black excellence is just simply achieving. I think Black excellence is simply existing, because we got killed for simply existing. We got murdered for simply existing. We got lynched for simply existing. So excellence, Black excellence to me is pretty much exactly what he said. Like, it's not always about achieving and striving and expansion. It's about resting. Oh my God. I read a quote that was like, our ancestors' biggest, wildest dreams was to simply rest. So, I would love to see more human examples of, just the cast humanizing themselves. And they do a good balance at that, because there's a part in this where I feel like Jasmine and Mariah got really, really real about their situation, and they told us something that I feel like they really didn't even have to tell us, like didn't have to tell us at all. But I appreciate it because, you know, these people are like the same age as my older siblings. So to hear them talk about their experiences beyond like them just being here at the house, them in present moment, is really, really comforting. It gives someone like me, I'm 25, just the comfort in knowing that, like, one, your story's never over, you're always writing, and then two, like, where you are 5 years from where you are right now, it could be totally different from 5 years from now, right?
Happy writing.
So this is what Jasmine and Mariah say.
Oh, thank you.
Blessed be the fruit.
Absolutely.
Back in 2017, I called Jasmine. She's like, come up to New York, girl. However, Jasmine did not tell me that she was being evicted.
Do you want to do our writers' room in here or in that other room? The sunroom seems best. Lo and behold, the way New York works, the way rent be written, we ended up living out of her car. We ate ramen noodles for 4 or 5 months straight.
Taking showers at Planet Fitness, the homeless life.
It was just so remarkable and so funny to where someone was like, y'all should really turn this into a show.
That's what we ended up doing.
Do you have another month's rent?
No. Do you have another month here? Made a whole damn show about it.
Yes, like, I want human experiences. Tell me about how you got to being on this show. Tell me about how you got to being where you are right now. Because, like, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to being evicted in New York, especially having, just got out of a pandemic. Like, oh my God, I bet a lot of people can relate to that. And to go back to the Black excellence thing that Preston was talking about, this to me is Black excellence. The fact that y'all were able to take y'all's experience living in a car, which is probably extremely embarrassing, probably very, very, very hard, and you have to be very vulnerable to share that on screen, on camera, to millions of people on a network, but then be able to transform that into a piece of art and content that you can then promote and tell your experience. Like, that's Black excellence to me. Black excellence is perseverance, so that's awesome. I want to see more type stories like that. Like, that type of shit is amazing. But after we get a good moment, the producers were producing, because right after we get a real humanized, vulnerable moment from them that's full with transparency, they get right back to the drama. And it, like I said, the dog situation becomes a reoccurring problem this whole episode, and it starts again.
Mom here.
What?
The dog has been here.
Right.
He's in the bar.
Yeah.
That's the pet peeve of mine.
I need like a lint or hair roller.
I mean, here's some tape.
Okay. Is Milo in the pool?
Go, Milo. Go, Milo. Hey! I taught him how to swim in the ocean.
What is happening?
Okay, all right.
This dog. The hair is honestly everywhere. But on a white couch, you kind of can't ignore that. Maria?
Yes?
I agree.
Milo shedding kind of
I
everywhere.
completely agree.
Where?
All in the sunroom.
I don't know what to do about it. Can't do anything about it.
What happened?
She's like, I don't know what to do about it. Throw the dog in the ocean. We can't even have like an adequate writers meeting without dog hair being everywhere.
Did she tell you about the dog? Okay.
She just showed up.
All right.
I've heard enough.
Let's go get her.
Let's do that.
Bria,
Yeah.
can you come here really fast? We are having some
Hey,
girl talk.
we need to talk.
in here.
Oh, she didn't wait to close.
It's giving dish inexperience.
Okay, to me, the considerate thing would have been to kind of just let Cooper and I know, like, hey, I'm bringing my dog. That's kind of important. Like, Alex can't even properly do his yoga without Milo's being around.
Okay, let me just stop right there, because this is my opinion. It's very, very clear to me that Jasmine and Silas Cooper, the married couple, did not pay for this house. Very, very obvious. Like, very, very obvious. You're a screenwriter and he works in the financial service industry and is in the army. It's very obvious that this is a production house. I don't think that Bria should have to tell her, hey, the dog is coming. I think when Bria came in and said, hey, this is my emotional support animal, I think that was enough. I think that was beyond enough. I heard Preston say in response to her, oh, I miss my puppy. He very well could have brought his dog as well, but he chose to leave his dog at home. If this girl has anxiety and, you know, she suffers from depression, I think the right thing as a friend would be to allow her to feel comfortable enough to have her dog in a space. Now, with that being said, the other thing actually is her saying, I hate when people bring up other people's grievance, other people's examples to try to validate their grievance. Oh, Alex can't even do yoga without stepping in shit. Why are you talking about him? He's a grown man. He can speak for himself. There's no reason why you should be bringing that up, but that's what people do when they try to narrative build. They need everyone to feel the exact same way. Now, the other thing is, I completely agree about a dog being on a white couch. That to me is a fucking problem. That is beyond the problem, because keeping the house clean all summer for what they're there probably, I think they said they're there for 14 weeks. Keeping the house clean for 14 weeks is going to be trying when you have 9 people living in the house, coming in and out, partying every single night. So then to have a dog roaming around on the furniture, leaving his hair, that is a problem. So Bria's saying, when she said, Milo's shedding everywhere, her saying, I don't know what to do about it. Well, you need to find a way to do something about it. Because they're already talking about throwing your puppy in the ocean. So it may be in your best interest. You may walk out of this situation with more anxiety and more depression simply because you don't want to clean up after your damn dog.
Show me.
Honey, did you pick up this morning?
Yes, I did.
And see, that's exactly why you should not bring other people's issues into your grievances, because production showing this was good. Like her picking up the poop and stuff, like I appreciate them doing this, because don't narrative build. If you have a problem with with the dog being on the white couch, just keep it about it being on the white couch.
It's in the trash. Want to look at it? Milo, how do you feel about this? She said that your dog hairs are on yeah, I know. It's not we don't care.
How would you feel if I showed up with, like, I don't know, a tiger?
Oh, she's dramatic. She's so dramatic. Like, baby, this is not helping your point. It's not helping your point at all.
You're being insensitive about the dog?
Yep, she's definitely being insensitive about the dog. Definitely. Her equating a tiger to an emotional support animal is pretty freaking insensitive. You wouldn't have a tiger to console you late at night because you're lonely. Come on now.
And that's not my problem. You're being very insensitive.
I'm being insensitive.
This is my emotional support dog.
Emotionally, I feel disrespected.
And that is where I would really walk out of the room, because this is not your house. You very obviously did not pay for this house. What are you talking about? You feel disrespected. I have been around people like Jasmine my whole life where they feel as if them curating an experience for everyone makes them liable to control how everybody goes about dealing with situations. You feel disrespected because someone didn't do things the way that you wanted them to. No one disrespected you. No one disrespected. You weren't disrespected. The girl coming with her dog is not disrespectful. I think she was very, very welcome. She was very, very, how do I say it? She explained what the dog was for the moment that she came in. I think if she had a problem with the dog being there, from that moment, she should have said, yo, I have a problem with the dog being here. You should have told us. She didn't do that. But now, every single day, she's going to find something to nitpick about.
If we are going to sit here and bicker about this, I hate wet dogs. We need to, like...
I'm not trying to bicker, and I need to set some boundaries.
There's not going to be boundaries.
Okay, now Bria's just being difficult. Because I agree, there needs to be some type of boundary in place so y'all don't keep having to have this argument every single time about a dog. It's going to be 14 weeks. Like, there needs to be some type of boundaries. And I like what Mariah said. This is my problem. My problem is wet dog. Like, they brought up, you know, the dog being in the pool and stuff. Like, that could be a problem.
I don't know this person. I don't know this Jasmine. We're close enough for you to be like, yo, your dog's hair is bothering me. I'd be like, okay, cool. But to talk to me crazy, no, we're not having that. Sorry.
You never.
Okay, well, I understand that.
Came up to me when you came in and be like, hey, so this is the dog. This is what I plan on.
That's not true. Yes, she definitely did.
We haven't had a
when I walked through here, I said, this is my service animal. This is my ESA animal. Animals that help with anxiety, depression.
Producing.
Okay, we get some.
Yes. What I'm hearing from Jasmine is that
yeah, okay, yeah.
she just wanted a heads up.
This is my business. This is my dog. This is my emotional support dog.
First of all,
I'm not talking to you.
Honestly, I agree with her. Why are you even in this conversation? It's 3 women having a conversation. Why are you in here? Why are you in here playing mediator? Like, a man needs to be in here to communicate and be a translator between 3 women. Why are you in here? I commend Bria for saying, I'm not talking to you. This is not your business. For real. For real. Why is a man jumping in a conversation with 3 other women?
I respect what you're saying, and the dog is going to be fine. I'm not talking to you. When you take it down a notch, I'm going to talk to you.
I'm not waste my voice. Not what.
She's too much.
You know what, Preston? Let her go.
Bye.
Let her go. Let her go. I think the issue right here is control. Like, I think Jasmine feels like she can control how everyone moves within the house. If it doesn't make her comfortable, then it doesn't make her comfortable. And you can hear that in the way that she says, let her go. She was leaving. What you mean, let her go? I think both of their stances are very, very valid. This is my emotional support dog. You know, I would have appreciated a heads up. Now bridge the gap. To see freaking 20, they're in their late 20s. To see them argue like this is really immature. Like, there was no resolve in this conversation. No resolve. They could have easily said, hey, like, let's have the dog not be on the white couch. Hey, if the dog's going to be in the pool, let's make sure that we're all, not raw. Let's make sure that you are skimming the pool every single morning so that people aren't swimming and they're getting dog hair in their mouth. Like, come on. But I understand what Bria said. If she would have came to me and was talking to me, you know, not crazy, then we would have had a conversation. And she didn't raise her voice. However, she did come off very demanding, as if like, this is what it's going to be. You can't talk to no grown up like that. This is not your space. You can't talk to no grown-up like that. Mouth wide open.
When you take it down a notch, I will talk to you.
I haven't raised my voice not once. Let her go. But she needs her emotional support right now because clearly she feels like I'm coming for her and I'm speaking very directly.
No, you just made another shady comment. You said a shady comment when she came in with the dog. Oh, well, we can support you through that. We can support you through that. And now you're making another shady comment as well about the dog. But this is what I feel like is very, very important. I feel like her sister cousin made a very, 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 very good note, right? Like, let's see if I can.
I don't play that I will slap the out of you.
I don't really know what's going on with Jasmine and Bria's relationship.
I'm gonna find an Amir.
But, you know, they live very different lives. And maybe there's a little judgment. There's something off with their dynamic. And I do think it's from Jasmine's perspective.
I agree. Remember when I showed y'all that clip of Jasmine saying, you know, I wanted to invite Lauren. I wanted to invite Shanice. And then I wasn't really going to invite Bria, but Shanice said that we should invite Bria. So we invited Bria. Okay, so now you have a problem with the girl having a dog. And then now your sister cousin, Lauren, is saying that she feels like you're judging her as well. I think that very much so makes sense, right? So the drama about the dog ensues for more minutes throughout the show. More and more minutes, more and more minutes. It goes on, it goes on, it goes on. She ends up calling her boyfriend to talk about the situation all the way in Germany. Like goes on and on until they get into the living room and they actually have a conversation about it. But the way in which they have a conversation is crazy. I think it shows you character, who people are.
Jazzy Jazz.
Hi. I'm spent.
No.
I'm spent.
Yeah.
I'm still mentally stuck like on what we talked about earlier. This morning with like Bria was so difficult. I'm just like, what is happening here? We're gonna have to talk that out.
Preston's face.
Bitch, I can hear you from the couch. Coming up.
I can totally see Jordan being
Yo, so the mere fact that she walks into the room and starts talking about her to someone else, it already goes to show that she just has a preconceived issue. I think that she just has a preconceived issue with Bria herself. And just the fact that she walked into the room and started talking about her to Preston without looking around, like, one, you're very unaware of your surroundings. And then two, it's just like, is that the kind of girl you are, where you're in a house with people and you will openly speak about somebody else to somebody else instead of just taking it to that person? Man. Like I said, I'm giving everyone multiple episodes to show me exactly who they are before I characterize them. So that's why I posed the question: is that the kind of girl that you are? So but I think that she's giving credence to what her sister cousin said, that, you know, there's judgment from the standpoint of Bria and Jasmine's relationship. But the last thing that I want to touch on before, you know, I wrap up this recap, because this recap is actually way longer than I thought it was going to be. I was going to do episode 1 and 2, but I'm going to have to do episode 2 at a different time because, you know, like I said, I relate to this. So I can give like a good perspective and give good insight to certain scenarios and certain situations and stuff. And I feel like sometimes I'm able to see both sides of a situation, both sides of a coin. So, you know, like I said, with the dog situation, it would have been fair if she had set some boundaries from the beginning and said, hey, you know, just don't have the dog on this. Let's make sure we clean up after the dog. And I think it would have been fair if Bria was receptive to the conversation. I think the tone of the conversation wasn't right, and they just couldn't get past that. And it just made it linger. But there is a conversation at the end of this episode that I feel like was very, very, I don't know, I just thought it was weird to me. Like, let's see if I can find the exact starting point.
Toxic, why? Because I want to have a good time.
I'm totally kidding.
What was I taking her away from?
I mean, it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
But that's so New York.
People don't start going out.
Actually, let's rewind.
I could.
Kid, when I say Jordan and I, of course, like, I don't know if you all know, but like Jordan, myself, Bria, Shanice, whenever she gets here, like, we all worked at the club in New York City.
We had an amazing time, like, you know.
Of course, there wasn't a lot of black girls that were here at the time, so we kind of stuck together. I know Jordan and I hit it off immediately. I literally do consider Jordan like a sister cousin. Like, I don't.
Hold on, did y'all hear where Jasmine said we all stuck together? If y'all all stuck together, why weren't you enthused about? Why didn't you initiate inviting Bria?
Even Kid, when I say that,
I love the dynamic that they have, but
perfect starting point.
You know, in training, I would call and like it'd be 2 a.m. and her and Jordan would be out, and I'm just like,
I can totally see Jordan being the toxic friend.
what? Toxic.
it'd be 2 a.m. and her and Jordan would be out, and I'm just like,
I can totally see Jordan being the toxic friend.
What? Toxic.
Toxic, why? Because I want to have a good time.
I'm totally kidding.
You weren't kidding.
What was I taking her away from?
I mean, it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
But that's so New York.
People don't start going out until 1:30. Yeah.
It just seems like whenever you were out late, it was like with Jordan.
Jasmine knew Jordan before she knew you, and she made it this far in life without you. And this is her homegirl. Like, this is her number one. He doesn't want smoke. I don't want it for him.
Or what does that mean? Like, what's the problem with it? Or is it just she has a curfew?
No, never that. Never that.
No, I'm seriously asking.
Never that. During the pandemic, at 29 years old, I enlisted in the Army Reserves. Jasmine and I were away from each other for over 6 months. And so it's still new to see her in this setting with a group of her girls. And I'm still adjusting to that. There was one night I called and he was like, oh, babe, we just got some free drinks. And I'm like, you got what? free drinks, like who was buying the drinks? And I think that was a very fair question.
Which my thing is, if we're if we're at the daily front row party, it's open bar. That's free drinks. Ain't nobody buying us drinks. It's exhausting. The idea that men need to be our knight in shining armor. That we cannot go out without being prey for the predator. We go out.
But here's the thing.
She makes decisions. I don't have a shackle to her to say stay out until 3 a.m.
What's wrong with going outside, though?
That's what I want to know.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, like, you know, it was late.
First of all, I don't even know why Silas is even entertaining a conversation with them. He is a married man with a married woman and a married couple talking to a table full of single people who are not in committed relationships and aren't sitting with their significant other. I don't even know why he's expecting for them to understand. Quite frankly, what he said was valid. If you're a girl and you pick up the phone and you call your man at 3 o'clock in the morning and he's at the club and he says, babe, we turning up, we lit, we just got free drinks. Your girl gonna be on the other side of the phone like, nigga, you just got free drinks from who? From who? Him asking, you got free drinks. What is the situation? That's a very valid question. Mind you, again, this is a married man talking to single people. He never said there was a problem going out. He never said that she had a curfew. I think what it was the fact that I think Jordan felt condemned in the moment of them saying, oh, I can see Jordan being the toxic friend, or oh, she was always out with Jordan. I think she just felt condemned in that moment. But as a married man, him, feeling like that is very, very valid. He's in the army and he's calling at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're out and about. And you could be doing God knows what. Obviously, she's married, so she obviously already has a certain boundaries and she showed that in the beginning of the show where she said, I'm married. She kept on saying that. So it clearly shows that she has, she has a mind frame of a married woman. But him feeling like that, you're out at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're getting free drinks. What? Give me more information. All those questions are very, very valid. What, you want him to not care? You want him to not care? I think sometimes we try to make it seem as if somebody caring about somebody and understanding that there's certain things that you can and cannot do when you're in a relationship and when you're married is them being controlling. You're a married woman hanging out with a single woman. You can't do the same things that single woman can do. And your single friend should understand that you as a single woman or a married woman cannot do the same things that she can do. And if that's really your friend, she will make sure that you're not doing the same things as her. Whether it's, okay, you're at the daily front row party and it's an open bar and you're getting free drinks and nobody's paying for them. Okay, cool. Well, that's an easy conversation. Babe, no, nobody bought the drinks. We're at the daily front row party. It's an open bar. Okay, cool. No problem. I don't know why they try to make it seem as if this man was crazy or controlling. Does she have a curfew? Insinuating that he is controlling by simply asking, which I think, again, is a very valid question. What is going on? What are you doing? Regardless if you're married, whether you're engaged and that's your fiance or you're in a relationship, those are all conversations and things I think anybody in a relationship would freaking ask. But you know what, guys? That's the end of my recap. I like I said, this video was going to be episode 1 and 2, but I've already spent 45 minutes discussing episode 1. Like I said, I'm actually really passionate about this. I like this cast. They're all freaking great. Like, I can see they all have something going for themselves. They all have a really great personality. So it's going to make for great TV. First and foremost, let's just say this. We need to get Sierra from Summer House, and we need to put her on this cast, please. Crossover, please. Sierra, if you see this, cross on over, please and thank you. We do not need to see you in that house in Montauk or East Hampton or wherever it is ever again. We have a Black family ready for you. And they welcome you with open arms, sweetie. Go over there to Oaks Bluff. But yeah, guys, I'll post an episode 2 reaction soon, probably in the next few days. Episode 3 comes out later on tonight on Bravo. Watch it. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment who your favorite character is so far, and comment what your thought process is on all the drama. whether it's the dog, whether it's single person tendencies, the Black excellence conversation. I want to hear it. Let's have some discourse. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.